Everybody hear me okay? All right. Well, thank you, NAWBO, for the opportunity to allow me to share the stage with the nominees. What an amazing group of nominees. Can we give them a huge round of applause? Amazing. I would like to thank the NAWBO Board of Directors for their countless hours that they have spent making tonight possible. I want to take a moment to read the mission of the NAWBO organization. NAWBO Louisville provides support, resources, and opportunities to propel women entrepreneurs into economical, social, and political spheres of power worldwide. It's about women helping women, forming partnerships, and learning from one another. Thank you, NAWBO Louisville, for providing a platform for business women to network and to engage. Well, the community is in full force tonight, supporting each female business nominee. I would personally like to thank those of you who populate the seats around these very special women. A very big thank you to the spouses, the partners, the family members, the mentors, and the sponsors who have supported each one of these ladies. Thank you for encouraging them to be bold, courageous, and to never stop giving up and to keep innovating. If possible, could all 12 nominees please stand and remain standing for a moment? Could you please stand? I know you're in here. I just saw you. Keep standing. I know you're busy women juggling careers and family, but for just a moment, I want you to stop and I want you to take it in. And I want you all to enjoy the fact that tonight is not about your employees. It's not about your associates. It's not about your family. It is about you. Look at what you have done. It's your accomplishments, your commitments, and your intellect that brings every single one of us here tonight. Margaret Mead says it best. This is for all of us who remain seated. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. You may be seated. These ladies are changing the landscape of Louisville. They're innovators, they're game changers, and they create jobs and opportunities for many of us to enjoy. I have had the distinct privilege of knowing many of these courageous women nominated this evening. When I was asked to speak, I wanted to gain knowledge of each of these remarkable women. While it's truly an honor to share my stories and experiences with you this evening, it is an even greater privilege to hear from each of them and about each of them. Together, this outstanding group of women serves on 40 different boards, both on local and a national scale. While they hold respected titles, as you've seen among their various companies and organizations, they are not just CEOs, owners, and founders. They are mothers, mentors, role models, paving the way for today's youth to reinvent the world, to grow, to expand, and to thrive. My journey, like many of theirs, was all about the constant thirst for making a difference. Since departing Ruby Red Tea in May of 2015, I joined Brown-Forman. Brown-Forman Corporation is firmly grounded in its bluegrass roots. These roots run deep in our community, from arts to education to rebuilding communities and creating brands that have remained relevant for over 150 years, and they keep running and growing and developing. As the Director of Global Innovation at Brown-Forman, I can tell you that some of our most iconic brands, such as Jack Daniel's, Woodford Reserve, didn't earn this recognition overnight. Just as a barrel of whiskey takes time to mature, so does that product's image, equity, and value. Thus, 4 years later, after resting on the ricks of a warehouse, nestled amidst picturesque horse farms, a brand is born. So what does that mean for innovation in the world of wine and spirits? I'll tell you this much. We spend a great deal of time living in the future, thinking forward, reinventing brands, taking risks. The beautiful part is that innovation we plan for and introduce to the world today will eventually become part of history, and it will live on to tell that brand story. Brand building and culture are inevitably linked at Brown-Forman. Innovation is just that, right? It's culture. It's not just a department working on an island. By embedding a unique, diverse, corporate aesthetic within our culture, we speak to Brown-Forman's enduring values and relevance. Creating and cultivating a great, cohesive presence for the company and its consumer brands. The 12 women that we honor tonight have not only made changes in our communities, but today's culture, from art, fashion, music, sports, to medicine, law, and technology. They have impacted various industries, from food and beverage to real estate and various departments, from meeting and event planning to human resources and finance. These women are changing the world. And as the world changes, so do we. And today, our world is a constant whirlwind of new iPhone updates, social media sites, watches that not only tell you the time, but tell the weather, apps that can switch off the lights in your home from a tap of a finger, and even whiskeys that are twice barreled, blended, and flavored. But innovation is not always in the form of an iPhone or your favorite new bourbon. It is sometimes a way of recognizing something that is right in front of you. Finding a change in yourself or change in your culture, you can start the next chapter. You cannot start the next chapter if you keep rereading the last. Turn that page. Ask questions. Challenge the norm. Make a difference. For example, who knew that women invented distilling in the whiskey-making process? And 4 out of the 5 bootleggers were women. Cheers to that. So I just heard somebody say that. Yes. To me, innovation can be summed up in just one word: passion. Passion. We've heard that word numerous times. Innovation is taking that lightning in a bottle and finding that niche that starts the fire, that creates the explosion. Tonight, I am really excited to share with you one of the many passion projects that I have the honor of contributing to at Brown-Forman. And you all this evening are going to be the first to ever view it. The Women in Whiskey Task Force And I don't know, Kim Wise, if you could please stand, and I know you're going to kill me for doing this, but could you please just stand? Kim Wise is a huge part of what you're about ready to see, and she works with me in innovation. And also, our GROW ERG comes together to bring you seed to sip.
The reason we're talking about women in whiskey is because women are having that conversation.
There has always been a very strong female presence here, whether or not it's overt.
You'll find women working in every part of our business. You'll find them in our sales organization, you will find them in our mills, you'll find them in our cooperage, you'll find them in finance, you'll find them in HR.
All that color will come. It isn't weird to be a woman spotlighted for this role. I just am doing what I'm passionate about.
I mean, one of the things I do every day is I walk through and I smell and taste what's coming off. And I love walking out thinking, man, we're making great bourbon today.
I think Seed to Sip is an exciting project because you're letting women tell their stories. I don't think the point is for us to be blind to gender, but to recognize what everybody brings.
The connection between the people behind the scenes and what's out on the shelf is important. When you're able to have a diversified workforce, you don't market to one, you market to the world.
They want authentic drinks. They want something that's made by somebody real in a real place. It's important for us to be in tune with those consumers, and if we internally don't match the population base, then you're missing something.
Having the conversation is the big first push.
Brown-Forman is the leader in whiskey, and having so many strong females at our company, I think that we have to lead this conversation and that we have a right to lead the conversation with women in whiskey.
So as Tim Laird, our other CEO, Chief Entertainment Officer, has done such a magnificent job emceeing all night, I would like you all to please raise a glass to all the nominees who are all winners. I don't have a glass, but basically, this is to each of you who see opportunity where others see impossibility. Keep changing the world. Thank you.